Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. Today's video has two stories and both of them have updates. Also, if you enjoy my content, watch it every day and still haven't subscribed, just go ahead and click the subscribe button and life can only get better. Now let's get started with the first story. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's by user _frustrated throwaway. Girl, 20s, female, who my 23 female ex, 23 male, cheated on me with, reached out to me. Not sure how to respond. A quick background. My ex and I broke up 6 months ago. We were together for about 3 years. I found out he was cheating on me, but to be clear, there were a lot of other reasons why we broke up. It was a messy breakup because my ex just basically split and didn't want to discuss things. Told me he didn't need to discuss things anymore because he already had someone new. A few days after our breakup, my ex and this girl, who we'll call Jessica, started posting all over social media about their relationship. I found this gross, but what else could I do? I was just basically hurting but didn't engage anymore. My ex's family reached out to me to basically say they were also uncomfortable about it. A mere few weeks after our breakup, my ex brought Jessica to a family dinner to introduce her. They weren't enthusiastic because they knew that she was the girl my ex was cheating on me with, and everything was way too quick. My ex's dad reached out to me and even told me not to feel hurt if I saw pictures online. While they were uncomfortable, they didn't want to cause a scene. I just unfollowed people related to my ex so I wouldn't see. His family has been very caring about me and would support me to say they wish we could work things out. Each time I would decline and say that I just wish we could close things well. Ultimately, I mustered up the courage to message my ex so that he would return very sentimental, valuable things, some of which belonged to my family. I also asked if he could talk to me so we could finally close things. He agreed and we did. The gist of our discussion was him apologizing for what he did. He told me he and Jessica broke up but were still talking. That he still loved me and just general reminiscing. Not a lot of people get closure, so while the discussion was a bit confusing, I appreciated it. I thought that was the end of it. We never spoke after. We both said our piece. I was already dating someone else and they were still talking, so it seemed the both of us were just moving on. Until yesterday. I randomly received a message from Jessica. She said she knew I was mad and that I deserved to feel that way and asked if we could talk. I asked her what about. She said she wanted to apologize for everything and that she understood how what they did hurt me. She said that her mistake was after finding out about the truth, my ex's cheating, they should have kept their relationship low-key. She said she always wanted to reach out but didn't have the guts to. She even mentioned that she tried talking to my ex to talk to me. I don't know how to take it and what a proper response is. I just don't agree with her sentiments on the situation. It's already been many months and I didn't appreciate the need to dig up on things I thought were already resolved suddenly. I also don't buy the idea that she didn't know about me. Just 3 days before our breakup, my ex was still posting pictures of me on his social media, posts he didn't delete. But even giving her the benefit of the doubt, she knew almost immediately after we broke up that my ex cheated on me with her. Am I being too harsh and bitter? I don't think I'm too angry anymore, but maybe I just have a great dislike for her. Well, OP, unless your boyfriend did some social media magic to get her to not be able to see any of his posts, which I highly doubt, she definitely knew about you. And I think that she's reaching out to you months after the fact to kind of apologize is just unwarranted drama. You've definitely moved on. You've mentioned you were dating somebody else, and apparently your ex is also moved on even from Jessica at this point. So her reaching out to you to apologize or whatever, I don't buy it. Maybe that's me being a cynic, but why now? Why not while they were dating? Like if she really wanted to clear the air, she says she didn't have the guts, but now she's got the guts? I don't know, it just seems an unneeded waste of energy at this point. So maybe I would respond to her, you know what, Jessica, thanks so much for reaching out. All good here, no need to apologize, but in any case, take this as an apology accepted and let's move on with our lives. Bye bye. And then if you want, you can actually block her so she doesn't try to drag you into some other conversation or anything like that. And then you just keep enjoying your life, OP. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? How would you handle this? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Get You High Tonight says, honestly, F her. She's a liar and they're both creeps and you don't owe either of them anything. Just pretend you never received her message and continue to move on. Good luck, OP. And OP responds, thank you. It derailed me for a while, but then I was reminded that I'm at a pretty good place in my life. Smiley face, coffee. Thank you for your insight. Kaharmatika says, I don't think you're being too harsh. However, you could do the Zen thing by assuming she's at least trying to move on with her life and forgive her for yourself. Resentment is a poison that we drink and both parties die. Be the bigger woman. Tell her that you forgive her and hope she's learned a bit from the experience and move on. I actually ended up in a similar position with my ex's ex. We linked up and both realized he'd played us for fools and became pretty good friends for some time. It may be more therapeutic than you think, just saying. And OP responds, she kept mentioning that she understands that I'm still very mad and angry. The thing is, I really didn't have them in my mind for months already. I thought we were already moving on. I don't feel the need to hate or be angry at her. I dislike her, sure, but it just felt like she was trying to get validation from me somehow. I just replied saying I was no longer angry, that her choices in life no longer affect me, and that I'm not sure what she's going through and why she felt the need to reach out to me after so long, but hope everything is okay. Finally, I just said that there can really be nothing done anymore, but if her apologizing is an indicator that she won't do the same to someone else, then that's enough for me to know. I just really didn't want to look back at things anymore. I had already had a final conversation with my ex. Why she felt the need to have a conversation with me just really felt like she wanted to clean her conscience because she kept insisting that she tried to get my ex to talk to me. I guess I just didn't appreciate that. And Akug517 says, seriously, her guilty conscience is not your problem. This whole apology thing is 100% for her. Don't put yourself out. I would block them both and forget it. And OP responds, thank you. I guess I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt that she wanted to sincerely apologize. But then she followed up by insisting she tried her best to get my ex to talk to me and seemed to shift the blame on him. I guess the apology was just for her. Chat face. Okay, well, some people were on the boat of, F Jessica, don't worry about her, just move on with your life. And there were other people who were like, you could try to be the pacifist here and be okay with this whole thing. Honestly, I'm on the first boat. I don't buy the apology, so OP should just move on. Now, OP did reply to the message, but as we know, the story doesn't end there because, of course, there is an update that we're moving on to right now. So, before we do that, if you're liking this video so far, please go ahead and click that like button because it does help me out, and maybe write a comment if you think it's pertinent. Now, let's move on with that update. Hi, it's been 3 months since my original post, and I'm back with an update. So I responded back to Jessica and basically told her that while I understood she was guilty, there really wasn't anything she could and should do for me. Just that she has to make better decisions now, and hopefully her guilt would mean she wouldn't hurt another person like that again. She sent me another message after that, but I didn't respond to it. Then, during the holidays, my ex's dad greeted me and relayed the news that Jessica was 4 to 5 months pregnant with my ex's child. Gasp face. It lines up now, and I guess that's why she messaged me, because they found out around that time. Just wish she was really sorry, LMAO. After that, my ex and I had the chance to talk. While of course I was still not okay with the fact that he cheated on me, I wouldn't wish ill on an unborn child. He has a lot of growing up to do and is not the most financially stable person. It also turns out the girl is quite young. I told him that I wished him well despite everything. His dad told me that he still believes he can make something of himself. When my ex and I talked, he admitted to me that the reason he cheated was because he knew I was already going to break up with him. This is partly true because months before, I sat him down and talked to him about issues in our relationship, and I wanted to bring his attention to the fact that things really were no longer healthy. We ended that conversation by agreeing to try and work things out together. This was his suggestion, but it turns out he didn't. Smiley face, coffee. I guess it was my prelude to an amicable breakup. He told me that there really was a better way to break things off, but that he was too scared to be alone after breaking up. So he made sure he had someone to run to when we finally broke things off. I just really wish we could have ended things better. He was my best friend. The news shocked me, but in a way, I guess I was able to get closure. I'm currently in a good and healthy relationship and starting the year with a really great outlook. Thank you all for the advice. I wish everyone had a great holiday. OP's edit. You are all correct. Based on the timeline, she did get pregnant after we broke up or I discovered his cheating. What I didn't mention or was fully clear with yet is that around 4 to 5 months ago, my ex talked to me and told me that he and Jessica broke up because they realized that they were in a relationship for the wrong reason. We talked for closure, but I realize now he was also testing the waters with me. I could be wrong though. There are a number of people who also question why I kept in contact with people in my ex's life or why I even talked to him after everything. I agree that it isn't the most healthy or mature thing to do, and I call myself out on that a lot of times. It was just really hard to detach from his family, who I grew close to. When my ex's dad last talked to me, he told me that things would never change and he still loves me like a daughter. Smiley face with a tear. And while a lot of people don't agree with my last communication with my ex, I think it was helpful for both of us in the process of moving forward. I think we left the conversation clearing out that we don't have hate for each other, just wishing each other well. I appreciated his honesty and, in a way, I was relieved that he at least spent some time reflecting on what he did. I'm glad he's taking steps to be self-aware because it's the only way we can move forward from mistakes. Smiley face, coffee. Also, I have to admit that I don't have the most positive image of Jessica, and I watch myself a lot of times not to be hateful. It's hard to judge when you only have the negative things shown to you. I won't go into details, but she was basically making unsavory remarks about me. A lot happened. Now, my relationship with my ex is nothing more than him liking my Facebook posts and greeting me with a heartfelt message during the holidays and birthdays. Smiley face. I don't hope for anything more than that and won't be disappointed if that's gone in months to come. In the end, I really don't know the full story anyway. With how the chips fell, I think all I can do now is wish them the best. It was a tough year for me, went through a breakup, was cheated on, lost my sister, had to recontact my ex to get back things my sister used to own. These are the things I referenced in my initial post, and basically had to pull myself back up from all the pain and losses. But I am glad to leave it all behind, and I'm moving on strong. Thank you for all the positivity and warm wishes, everyone. Smiley face. Well, OP, first of all, I'm really sorry that you lost your sister. As you said, it must have been a really tough year for you. But you finish everything with being glad that to leave everything behind and that you're moving on strong. So here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Thank you so much for sharing and take care. Now, let's move on to the next post that, like I said in the beginning, also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's by user The Throwaway Dude. My crush, 32 female, asked me, 32 male, out. But I'm so nervous since I've never gone past a first date with a stranger before. How do I avoid messing this up? I was a very late bloomer. I spent my college years married to my studies and then my early and mid-20s on my career. By the time I realized I had neglected my personal life, I was way past the normal age. I have since developed an incredible network of friends who have made my life better. Unfortunately, despite trying, I've only been on a few dates from online dating apps, and I've never gone past a first date with anyone. I've also had a couple of unrequited crushes on friends, which were all politely turned down. Basically, I have the dating experience of someone a third my age. Now, Maria and I have been friends for about 3 months. I fell for her early on, but after getting some not interested signals, I decided not to ask or pursue anything with her. But yesterday, when we met up alone for the first time, all previous encounters were in small groups, she said that she's into me and wants to go on a date. We've become close, and I've told her about some, but not all, of my past. I'm very nervous. I have no idea what to do, and I'm really afraid that she's going to change her mind. What should I do to help myself relax and be myself again? This has never really happened to me, and I'm afraid of messing something up and ruining the first chance I've ever had. Well, OP, personally, I find it kinda difficult to give advice to help somebody relax because that's just gonna add to your stress because you're gonna be thinking all the time, oh, I gotta relax, and that's just gonna stress you out. I would say focus on the things you like about Maria. Think about that. Think about her. Think about spending the time with her on the date. Think about where you want to go if you guys are going for dinner or out for a fun date like mini golfing. I don't know. But think about that and think about the fun that you can have. That might help put your mind at ease and you'd feel more comfortable with the whole situation. Look, the way I see it, the fact that she's asking you out on a date means that you don't need to try and impress her to gain her attention. You already have her attention. Now just chill, try to be yourself, make some jokes here and there, don't overdo it, if you can of course, and just try to be honest with her regarding any questions she might have about your past. There's nothing to be ashamed of here in case that's what you're worried about, but if you're stressed out, just try to think about her, the things you like, and about how much fun you guys can have together on a date. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? What do you do before a first date in order to chill yourself out? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what kind of advice they gave OP. Katie Zislin says, she likes you, just be yourself and try to enjoy the date. It's okay to be nervous, that can be cute. Admit to being nervous so you can move on and talk about other stuff if it makes it easier. I'd say the biggest turn-off for me on a date is a guy acting creepy. Some guys make weird sexual innuendos, which is such a turn-off to me when you're trying to get to know someone. Have fun! Trivial Savoir-Faire says she's early 30s, so she is experienced enough to know that you are a guy that is an individual, and she has probably gotten a fair idea of what you were like from your past experiences. So in that sense, she already knows exactly who you are, so there is no need to be nervous. Just go in there and do well. Do not, however, do weird crap like sweat until your nipples show through your shirt. Who does that on purpose? Or pledge allegiance to ISIS or whatever when you're there. Good luck! Shelf Life Inc. says, first dates terrify me. Second and third dates are okay, but there's something about first dates that just make me a nervous wreck, even when I'm really excited to spend time with the person. I find owning my nervousness and being honest about it makes me feel better. That way, I'm not stressing myself further by trying to hide my nervousness in addition to feeling my nervousness. Just something as simple as, I must admit, first dates always make me nervous, but I'm really excited to be on this date with you. Or try my technique. When one guy asked, how are you? I said, moments away from a heart attack. How about you? He seemed surprised, but he laughed. We had a good date. Just remember, even if you scare this woman away, that doesn't mean you'll be forever alone. As my sister likes to say, no one ever gets their first pancake right. It takes a few screwed up ones before you get your perfect pancake. Alright, well I think the community gave OP some pretty decent advice, and OP didn't reply to anything, which means we move on straight to the update to see if OP got his perfect pancake. So Maria and I went out for a walk on the beach. Cheesy, right? Which is the most romantic thing I've ever done in my life, and it was better than I could have ever imagined. She held my hand, and we ended up walking for hours and talking about everything. I even told her about my past, how I felt about her, and how I was nervous, and she was so understanding and supportive. I was afraid that she would not want to spend more time with me, but instead, she thought it was really cute. Then we had dinner together and some drinks and spent the evening in a dreamy romantic haze. I don't know where this will go, but right now I'm on cloud 9. Thank you so much to everyone who commented and told me to be open and direct. Telling her about how nervous I was took away all the tension and made me feel really wonderful when she was understanding and supportive. Alright, OP, well, good for you. Like you say, you don't know where this is going, but right now you're happy. So hopefully it does lead to a good place for the both of you. Take care, OP, and thank you so much for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.